The Batman, which launches in March 2022, is a special film, not only because it's one of the best Batman movies ever. More than that, when The Batman was released, we were in the midst of a pandemic and faced the threat of World War III. The last 2 years, our world has felt like living in Gotham, depressed, completely uncertain, chaotic, and out of control. Everyone struggles to survive in their own way. In this new Batman film, Batman investigates a murder that takes him back into his own past. He must face the facts about his father that actually made him worse off, and at the same time face his archenemy, the Riddle. Batman's morals were severely challenged. We are also going through a similar experience. The pandemic pushes us to live in fear. We redefine security as well as the meaning of life. We are forced to question our beliefs while facing the greatest enemy, which is ourselves. We struggle in the dark, unsure of when or how this day will end. In some ways, we succumb to our weaknesses. We fall victim to our own fears, and, like Batman, we all cling to the only thing that keeps us sane, and that is hope. We keep going, and in the process, we learn more about ourselves, and some of us become even stronger than before. We can all learn from Bruce Wayne about how he survived his childhood trauma and gradually transformed into a Batman figure. This is old sensei. You're a sensei for your life. The Batman by Matt Reeves combines the dark style of Tim Burton's Batman and the realistic style of Christopher Nolan's trilogy. In The Batman, Batman returns to his roots doing detective work. For those of you who are comic fans, you know that Batman has a reputation as the greatest detective in the world, and I like Batman's face on this one. What also sets this film apart from previous Batman films is that all the characters in the Batman feel close to us. In fact, I think they're more real than Nolan's version of Gotham. Falcone, Penguin, and Riddle all appear to be real people. The Riddler depicts the leader of a real-world terrorist group. There is something unique about him. He talks, dresses, and looks like a normal person, but he has the ability to manipulate and influence people to do evil things. In this film, the Batman is about Batman, so it's not Bruce Wayne but Batman who is in the spotlight in this film. Batman is the main character, not just a mask worn by a brush. We see how Batman struggles and finally finds his place in the daily lives of Gotham citizens. We empathize with Batman because he feels more alive than Bruce Wayne. Bruce is a walking zombie who is haunted by his traumatic past. Batman, on the other hand, is a hero who is present in the midst of society. Gotham is an allegory for the world inside Bruce's head, misty, dark, yet modern and dreamlike. All of it is a perfect mirror of how Bruce remembers the world around him. The corrupt and decaying city of Gotham gave birth to a big and mighty villain. They are products of Gotham. Every character, hero and villain alike, suffers from the trauma that shaped them into who they are. Every Gotham City criminal is a broken mirror of the Batman figure. So why didn't Bruce grow up to be a villain? Like Riddle said in his movie, Bruce is not like the other Gotham orphans. Bruce lives in a safe home, cared for and loved by his trusted employee Alfred, who has become a father figure to Bruce. Without all of that, surely Bruce could also easily become a criminal. Bruce is almost plunged into darkness when he discovers the truth about his father's involvement in a reporter's death. If it wasn't for Alfred, who made him see the other side of what happened, maybe we wouldn't have seen Batman as we know him today. If the Gotham situation could push an honest, intelligent, and wealthy man like Bruce's father, Thomas Wayne, to do something so terrible, now imagine what Gotham can do to ordinary citizens. It was this awareness that prompted Bruce to declare war on evil. He is willing to do anything to save the lives of citizens, even if that means becoming a martyr. Unfortunately, not all Gotham heroes have hearts of steel like Batman. Harvey Dent, for example, is a district attorney who became a hero in Gotham because he brought down the mafia. He is the polar opposite of the Dark Knight. He fights for justice during the day and within the confines of the rule of law. In Bruce Wayne's eyes, he was the true hero that Gotham deserved. Dent once commented that, regarding the corruption in Gotham City, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And ironically, that is what happened to him. The Joker pushes him to the edge of his sanity until he breaks down and becomes a two-faced villain who has a split personality and loses his capacity to choose whether to do good or do bad. Dent flips a coin to help her decide and surrender to what people used to call fate. Batman's strength lies in his mental capacity to survive in the face of adversity. More than that, especially because of his ability to make choices, Batman dares to decide what he thinks is good at all costs, no matter how much he has to sacrifice to live with the consequences of his decisions. Indeed, the environment and the past also contribute to shaping us. But keep in mind that we always have a choice. We decide whether to be heroes or villains. Fear is a central theme of Batman. In Nolan's version, Batman's fear indirectly causes the death of his parents. He is haunted by guilt, but he learns that the guilt does not paralyze him, but rather directs him to fight evil and fight for the world he wants. Bruce wanted to make sure that no one had to suffer the way he did. He turned fear into power. Instead of being shunned, he faced fear head on and turned his fear into a weapon against his enemies. Batman is far from perfect, but he is human. In the movie Batman vs. Superman, we see how his desperation that things in Gotham City aren't getting better turns out to be Batman turning evil. He is angry, he hunts, he reaches for his victims, he becomes antagonistic. Even his fear of Superman makes him want to kill him. And with one thrust of the Kryptonian spear, Batman was able to defeat Superman. Then he realized that if he did that, he would lose the biggest battle he had fought in his entire life. A battle for hope, for the good of man's heart, for the Gotham he dreams of. Batman eventually won, but not by killing Superman, but rather by stopping himself from killing Superman. He overcomes his own anger and fear. Batman lives his life on the edge, not only because he must continue to fight great baddies, but because he must continue to make difficult decisions which must test his morality. So Bruce created Batman with uncompromising moral strength and unchanging moral code, and serves as a guide for him through all the craziness around him. While Alfred and Commissioner Gordon were always by his side, being beacons of his consciousness, both have a crucial role in dampening Batman's grudge and at the same time protecting his moral footing. Gotham and its inhabitants, including the city's villains and heroes, represent what's going on in the mind. Within us there is a conflict between good and evil. Whatever we consume and put into our minds will grow and expand. So we need to make sure that we end up like Batman, not like a criminal or a victim of Gotham City's rottenness. Learning from the Batman films over the decades, there are at least 2 actions we need to take and grow within us so that we can get our superpower, the power we desperately need to face the current challenges of a volatile, complex, and ambiguous world like the one we live in now. First, master your fear. Our goal is not to be fearless, but to master our fear. Fear is a tool that keeps us alert and forces us to constantly sharpen ourselves. Fear doesn't paralyze you. It actually makes you move forward, helping you deal with whatever situation comes. It gives you the power to take meaningful action. Second, make the right choice. Whoever you are, you always have a choice. Nothing can make you give up when you choose to fight. You can choose to be a victim or a victor. You can be ordinary or extraordinary. Everything is your choice. Last note, to go through this process, which is not easy, you need Alfred and Gordon in your life. Alfred is the most important person in your life, the one who will always be there for you and support you. They could be your spouse, your parents, your siblings, or your friends, while Gordon is your business partner or co-worker. Usually, they have visions and values that align with yours, always ready to fight and sacrifice to realize that vision together. With Alfred and Gordon by your side, you will be able to achieve anything in this endless battle. May God be with us.